Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video this morning I am going to be giving you some latest news regarding Ashley Young. Also going to be giving you an update on Bruno Fernandes, and there's lots of other things to currently talk about. So it has been confirmed that Inter Milan have signed Ashley Young. I think they've got him for around £1.5 million. Ashley Young has joined Inter Milan on a 6-month deal with an option of a further year. He did his medical yesterday ahead of his move to Inter Milan, and now it is official. Young is our first player to leave in 2020, and he's the third player to join Inter Milan, because Inter Milan got Lukaku and Sanchez off us last summer. I think it did say, there's an add-on fee included in the deal. If Inter Milan do win this Serie A this season, they haven't won it, since 2010. So they haven't won it now for nearly a decade. Young endured 8.5 years at Manchester United. This was his current ninth season. And obviously before his departure, he was our current captain. He made a total of 261 appearances in all competitions. I think he scored around 19 goals. He made around 18 appearances this season. I think he played around 39 times for England. But it was obvious, that Inter Milan were going to be determined to offer him a long-term contract, reflecting on his age, because Young is 34 years of age. He's 35 in the summer. So obviously, it wasn't going to happen. But I did say, Ashley Young was one of the players, that Manchester United needed to get rid of, because he initially lost his place in the team anywhere. It was totally comparison last season, because last season he was actually our first choice, but since the arrival of Wan-Bissaka, Wan-Bissaka's been established as our first choice right back. I'm actually, surprised that Ashley Young has left the club in this January transfer window, though, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually, did give his overarching view on it, and he said he was actually, reluctant to let Ashley Young go. The main explanation for that is reflecting on the amount of injuries that Man United have got, so he didn't really want him to go. I thought it was more imminent he would have left in the summer. Well, that's when his current contract was due to expire. He did say, that we'd offered Ashley Young a new one-year extension. Obviously, Ashley Young had turned this one-year extension down, because his preference was moved to Inter Milan. At the first, I didn't think he was going to go anywhere, because there was reports emerging out saying that his move to Inter Milan could be in doubt due to the Rome swap deal, and that could have interfered, Ashley Young making his move to Inter Milan. But obviously now that's not the case. Quite a few other teams went in for him: Crystal Palace, Lazio, and his former club Aston Villa. I think also West Ham inquired about getting Ashley Young. But yeah, now just want to confirm he's officially an Inter Milan player. And Solskjaer's reacted, to Ashley Young's departure, and he actually admired Ashley Young. And this was in his press conference he did building up to the Liverpool Man United game yesterday. He says, Young was a great servant for the football club. He won trophies with Man United. And yeah, and he's obviously, give us an update on the captaincy. So obviously now following the departure of Ashley Young, because Young obviously, replaced Valencia as our captain, because Valencia was our captain, but obviously Valencia left last summer. But it is official now that, as I updated you, that Harry Maguire is our permanent captain. Got to say, we've done really, really well doing that. So I think it's the right decision, because Harry Maguire's got great leadership skills, as Solskjaer was saying. And I think, since we signed him last summer from Leicester, I think he's addressed our defensive deficiencies. We paid £80 million for him, so he's the second most expensive sign at the club. He's the most expensive defender in the world. But yeah, he's been given the captaincy on a permanent basis. But I did say if Young wants to leave, he should be given the captaincy. So in that aspect, I do credit Solskjaer, because I think he has made the right decision. So yeah, so that's the news regarding Ashley Young. He's an Inter Milan player. So an update regarding Bruno Fernandes now. Bruno Fernandes did play against Benfica yesterday. Sporting Lisbon did lose by 2 goals to 0. That was his farewell appearance, Bruno Fernandes. So I think now he has said his goodbyes to Sporting Lisbon. There was reports emerging out before the game against Benfica saying that, we wanted to actually sign Bruno Fernandes, before, Sporting Lisbon's game against Benfica, and we actually, didn't want him to play against Benfica. There was reports emerging out before the game saying that, we could miss that game. The Sporting Lisbon head coach has come out and he's said that, he's actually asked if, he's going to be playing next week against Braga. But we should now complete the signing of Bruno Fernandes either today or tomorrow. There has been reports emerging out saying that, he could be in the stands for a Liverpool game. But I can definitely assure that he's not going to be making his debut against Liverpool, because it obviously said, we had to sign him on Friday by 12 p.m. if he was to make his debut against Liverpool. That's what, Man United had to do. I updated you, didn't I, yesterday on my video. Well, it was the last video I did yesterday. And it said, no, this was stemming from Sky Sports. And, Sky Sports is very reliable. And it was coming from James Cooper, who's very close to Man United. And, he says, like, Man United are close to reaching an agreement with Sporting Lisbon for Bruno Fernandes. I don't think a fee has yet come to an agreement. The personal terms and that have been agreed. He's set to earn around 120 grand a week. I think he's set to sign, is it a 5-year contract? I think Man United are going to pay around £43 million up front, and there's 17 million in add-ons, potential add-ons. So the deal is worth up to around £60 million. So I don't think a fee has yet, come to an agreement. It did say, the other day, I think it was on Thursday or yesterday, that our representatives were in Portugal for further more negotiations. And of course, we have had a breakthrough in negotiations. But Bruno Fernandes has confirmed he wants to come to Manchester United. He's notified Sporting Lisbon about this, and Man United is his preference. His preference was totally comparison last summer, because his preference last summer was a move to Tottenham. But obviously last summer, Tottenham were in for him, City were in for him, also Liverpool were in for him. City were close to getting him at one point. City were closer to getting him at one point. But I think the main explanation why we didn't get Bruno Fernandes last summer is because, we valued him at around £50 million last summer, and Sporting Lisbon wanted in the region of £70 million. And we just didn't put an official bidding for him. And this is a couple of reasons why, we didn't get Bruno Fernandes last summer. Of course, I think George Mendes is key as well. I think, he's obviously, been working on getting Bruno Fernandes' transfer to Man United completed. Don't forget, he was in the director's box spectating the Man United Wolves game on Wednesday. He was in, I think, was in London on Tuesday. So you've got to say he's the main architect. And yeah, and by the way, this is a straight cash deal. There's no swap deal involved, because I know there was a lot of rumours going on earlier on this week saying that Marcus Rojo could be part of the deal, as Bruno Fernandes coming to Man United, because it did say Sporting Lisbon wanted Marcus Rojo as part of the deal. Also, there was talks that Andres Pereira could be a part of the deal. So this is what it had said. But there's the vast majority of the stories that have been coming out about Bruno Fernandes have been obviously stemming from Portugal anywhere. And we've heard a lot of stories about Bruno Fernandes to Man United since like last week, when the Sporting Lisbon president Federico Fernandes and Bruno Fernandes' agent had obviously travelled to London for negotiations. Solskjaer, of course, early on this month had flew to Portugal with Mike Phelan to watch Bruno Fernandes in action. But yeah, like I said, I think, he'd be a great addition to our squad. He's obviously our first signing, or going to be our first signing in January. Our fourth signing overall under the Mulligan and Solskjaer era, because Solskjaer recommended 3 players in last summer, and we spent nearly £150 million. You know, we got Daniel James in, and Wan-Bissaka, and Harry Maguire, and they've all enjoyed fantastic starts to their Manchester United careers, all three of them. You know, they've all enjoyed fantastic starts to their Man United careers. You could say they've been our best players, you know, the new signings there that we did recommend in. But Bruno Fernandes, like I said, he'll be great for us. He can provide goals from midfield. He can create chances. Very, very good player, and I think he will exceed expectations in the Premier League. So I think in the Premier League he will replicate what he's done in Portugal, because he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of years. This is now his current third season with Sporting Lisbon. You know, last November he got his contract extended until 2023. I do presume he got that new contract reflect on his good run of performances. When he was younger, he spent the entirety of his career in Italy with Sampdoria and underneath. But yeah, you know, I can't. I'm excited about the prospect of him coming in, because we are seeing Bruno Fernandes as an adequate replacement for Pogba. But I'm very sceptical that Pogba will leave in this January transfer window. So, like I said, I think he'll blend in very, very well alongside the likes of Pogba and McTominay. That's when they do come back from injury. Obviously, when he officially signs, his number will be revealed. I think it's more than likely he will be deployed as a number 8. He currently plays as a number 8 for Sporting Lisbon. And then, obviously, you know, when we sign Bruno Fernandes, you know, who's going to be next? Because we'll want to make at least one more signing in this January transfer window. I think Solskjaer, you know, is considering bringing number 10 in, because we need a Galactico number 10, because, you know, we've got a few players that can play at number 10. You've got Lingard that can play at number 10. He's obviously, you know, too inconsistent is Jesse Lingard. I've got a lot of element of concerns about him. And like I've said on my other videos, reflecting on his status at the football club and reflecting on the number of years he's been here, he should be putting much more better performances out. And, you know, he's on around, is it 100 grand a week or more than that, is Jesse Lingard. So, you know, I've got a lot of element of concerns about him. Lingard can play on the right as well, but he's been inconsistent this season. You know, Juan Mata can play at number 10, and to be fair, I think in the games Juan Mata plays in, you know, he really does really, really well, and I think he's done well in his last couple of games as Juan Mata. You know, scored the goal against Wolves, lovely chip. You know, in our last league game, you know, he provided 2 assists. I know that Juan Mata's lost that pace now, and he doesn't really get in the team enough, because he's like, what, 32, 33 years of age is he now? You know, you can only say he's got a couple of years left in his footballing career. But yeah, he can play well. He's definitely my preference over, you know, Jesse Lingard and probably Andres Pereira, because Andres Pereira's been inconsistent for the vast majority of this season. So it would be beneficial if Man United could recommend number 10 in. There is still a lot of, you know, reports about possibly, you know, James Maddison coming to Man United. You know, I think he's the player who we're going to go in for next when we do sign Bruno Fernandes. But I think it's more likely we'll sign James Maddison in the summer rather than in this January transfer window if we do sign him, because Brendan Rodgers recently gave his overarching view on it, and Brendan Rodgers says, you know, that James Maddison will not leave in this January window. You know, but he says before we're confident we can sign him in the summer. James Maddison is going to cost us a substantial amount. I think we'll probably have to pay in the excess of around, what, 70 or 80 million pounds. So, reflecting on that, we're going to have to pay similar or the exact same fee as what we paid for Harry Maguire last summer. Obviously, reports came out, was it around 2 or 3 weeks ago, like we updated you, and it says Man United had allegedly put around a £45 million bid in. Plus, we was determined to offer Jesse Lingard as part of the deal of James Maddison coming to Man United. But I did obviously, you know, say that Leicester, you know, were not determined to go Milan with this. Allegedly, we've been interested in James Maddison since June. James Maddison has made a total of 63 appearances for Leicester in all competitions. Vast majority of his appearances have come in the Premier League, and he's still got around 3 years left on his contract with Leicester. This is his current second season with them, and I think in his second season he's replicating what he did in his debut season, because he was good on his debut season last season. Last season, don't forget, James Maddison created more chances than any other player. Leicester only paid around £20 million to him from Norwich in the summer of 2018. before he was at Norwich, he actually, began his career with Coventry, did James Maddison. But he's a player that's predominantly an attacking midfielder. But Brendan, he's played out wide quite a lot of times under Brendan Rodgers' guidance. So I'd love to see him come to Man United, definitely, James Maddison, because he's only 23. Still got a lot of years ahead of him, and Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young players to the squad, despite the fact that we've already got a lot of young players at Man United, that are developing and trying to improve. But like I said, it's very imperative this year that we do recruit the right calibre players to Manchester United that can elevate us forward and get us back, to being a competitively level football club, definitely. And I did say overall, our recruitment has got to improve, because our recruitment policy has been very poor for several years. And we've got to address the deficiencies in the squad this year. Like I said, that midfield is definitely the priority area where we need to strengthen up. Like I said, I think we need 2 midfielders. We possibly need a striker, where there's possibly other areas in the squad as well that need to be addressed. Don't forget, Solskjaer was asked if he's got any element of concerns about that full-back position. Does he feel as though that we need to strengthen up in that full-back position following the departure of Ashley Young? Obviously, Luke Shaw's now got an injury. He's out with a hamstring problem. He was out earlier on in the season, was Luke Shaw, with a hamstring problem. But obviously, Brandon Williams, he's now our first choice left back. Since he's come onto the horizon, Brandon Williams has been revelation. And Solskjaer did confirm Fosu-Mensah's he's close to returning. Because obviously, Solskjaer said when Fosu-Mensah was 19, he played for Holland as a right back, and Fosu-Mensah's been out with an injury since he was on loan with Fulham. So he is coming back, is Fosu-Mensah. So I don't think he's too bothered about that. I don't think do you think we need another centre half? Probably not, because Maguire's done well at the back, and I think Lindelof, has mainly done well Milan signed him. Do you think Man United need a right winner? So these still areas in the squad that do need to be addressed. But, despite how inconsistent we have been for the vast majority of this season, Solskjaer still believes that, we can compete for the biggest players. This is what he believes, and he feels as though that the club have the resources and backing of the club, to spend a substantial amount, because we'll spend a substantial amount this year on recruiting new players in. An estimated guess, I think we'll spend at least from 250 to 300 million pounds on recruiting new players into the football club. But some people have said, our inconsistency this season, the main explanation for that is he's reflecting on the amount of injuries we've had. Also, we've got a lot of young players in the squad, but from my own perception, I don't think that's excusable. It's not excusable at all, and we have got quite a few ambitions. We've got a few ambitions, and it's very imperative that we get some silverware on the board this season. The top 4 is also an ambition to us, definitely, because we want to get in that top 4 so we can get Champions League football secured. So I think if Solskjaer is to be given another season at Manchester United, is by the end of the season we've got to have got some silver on the board, and we've got to get that top 4. If we don't do this, then more than likely Solskjaer will be sacked as Manchester United manager. But Solskjaer is aware that he's got many expectations to exceed in his second year at the football club. He's aware that it's a transition period, and he's hopeful that Man United can get through this transition period. But he's still in the process of rebuilding this Man United squad. Is Solskjaer, because this is only his second window, and our board and Ed Woodward and that are determined to give him another couple of windows to see who he can recommend in. The vast majority of these players are Jose Mourinho's, because Jose Mourinho recommended 11 players into the club. Solskjaer's inheriting the vast majority of them. There's still players here from the Van Gaal era. There's still Matt here from the David Moyes era. And there's still players here from the Alex Ferguson era. And we are aware that, we're not in the commanding position that we should be in. you know, reflecting on the potential and the size of the club, reflect on the amount of money that's been invested into the football club over the years. Because I think, you know, we spent nearly around £1 billion on recruiting new players in. And not only that, we've also got players on big contracts at the football club. So we should be much more commanding a position than we're in now, definitely. And, you know, Man United, do you think Man United are ever going to win the title again? And that is the question. And like I said, for us to be future title contenders, you know, we've got to see a variety of changes at the club. You know, I'm very sceptical that we're going to get our 21st title under Solskjaer. You know, our expectations next season will be the top four. And that replicates at the start of this season, because I said at the start of this season, I said our expectations will be that top four. Our aspirations will be that top four in the next couple of seasons at least, because it is going to take a long rebuilding process. But we have got a pretty decent team, but you know, they're just not playing as a unit and they're not playing as a team. And you know, regardless of what players you bring in, if you're not doing that, then obviously, you know, you're not going to get nowhere. So that's my overarching view on that. So I think the variety of changes that we need to see at the club, we need a change of management. But obviously our board won't sack Solskjaer, especially not at this present time. You know, they are determined to give him at least a couple more windows. I think with Solskjaer being a club legend, in that aspect, our board are softening our stance. But disregarding, you know, Solskjaer being a club legend, I think probably would have been sacked by now, to be honest with you. So in that aspect, the board are softening our stance, but I'm very sceptical that Solskjaer will see out his 3-year contract at the football club, because he signed a 3-year contract when he got the job permanently back in March earlier on this year. And I think he's still got around 2.5 years left on his contract, and he's on around £7.5 million a year. He's on around £7.5 million pounds a year and that. And he's been at Man United now for 13 months. So he's been here over a year. He's been permanent boss for around 10 months now, Mr. Solskjaer. Yeah. And analysing the vast majority of that 10 months, he has endured a very difficult time. But yeah, I think we need a change in management. We also need to get rid of the Glazers. We need to get rid of Ed Woodward, because a lot of United fans were protesting about Ed Woodward and the Glazers. I think we need to get rid of our coaching staff. We need to get rid of more players. Like I said, I think we need to get rid of another 6 or 7 players. So obviously, you know, Young's gone. I think, you know, who needs to follow Young this year? I think Jones needs to depart the club. You know, Jones has been a long-serving player at Manchester United. Jones is now into his 9th season at Manchester United, so he has endured 8 years here. Mistake Man United made last season was giving him a new long-term contract. We need to get rid of Jones. We need to move Matic on, because his current contract does expire at the end of the season. Like I said, Man United overpaid for Nemanja Matic, because we paid around £40 million for him from Chelsea. And he needs to be moved on by the football club. He's now on 100. He's made 100 appearances for Man United in all competitions. If he plays tomorrow against Liverpool, that will be his 101st first appearance for Man United. He was out early on in the season with a groin problem, was Matic, but he's no longer first choice, and it's comparison to last season, because last season he was. But due to the injuries to Pogba and McTominay, we haven't really got an alternative at the moment but to play Matic more. Like I said, Pogba and McTominay are due back, I think, in February. So Matic needs to be moved on, and from our perspective, you know, it would be very beneficial if we could cash in for Matic this month rather than let his current contract run down and let him go on a free at the end of the season. You know, Jesse Lingard, definitely get rid of him. Chong, I don't think Chong is good enough at the moment. I think we need to get rid of Chong. I think we need to put him out on loan, you know, because I don't think he's at that level as yet. You know, you've got a lot of United fans saying that we should get rid of Luke Shaw. Get rid of Luke Shaw, get rid of Marcus Rojo, because Luke Shaw and Marcus Rojo, from my own perception, are both very injury prone, because they've sustained quite a few injuries as Man United players. Rojo's now into his, 5th season at the club, I think, or is it his 6th season? Luke Shaw's into his 5th season, so maybe Man United, you know, should consider moving them on. I definitely believe that Paul Pogba is going to be leaving the football club. Like I said, he'll leave in the summer. He won't leave in this January transfer window. Maybe now Paul Pogba could reunite with Juventus. So he could make a return to Juventus. So reports were emerging out the other day saying that Juventus are leading the race for Paul Pogba, because now Real Madrid have got Donny van de Beek on their agenda from Ajax, and he allegedly said that Real Madrid were closing in on a deal for Donny van de Beek from Ajax. I think it's a deal worth around £47 million, but Real Madrid are not expected to sign him anywhere until the summer. So this is what it said. Don't forget, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked to a move for Paul Pogba last summer, but his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise last summer. And the main explanation why this didn't materialise is reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we wanted around £150 million. Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. I think even if we sell Paul Pogba in the summer, we can still generate a substantial amount for his departure, reflecting on the decent pedigree he's got behind him. I think he's had a good career prior to, his vast majority of his career with Man United, because the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been totally comparison to his ones at Juventus. But I still believe in the summer we can generate around, £100 million for him. But he's still one of the best midfielders in the world. He definitely was one of the best midfielders in the world during his time with Juventus. But Paul Pogba has missed the vast majority of our games this season anyway with injury. He's currently out with an ankle problem at the moment. Not too long ago, he had that operation on his ankle, and according to Paul Pogba, his operation went well. Solskjaer recently revealed that this injury is totally comparison to the previous one he had not too long ago, because he was out with an ankle injury for around 3 months, was Pogba. But yeah, he's becoming injury prone. And, I think my perception is Paul Pogba's disrespecting the club. Also, his agent, Mini Raiola, is disrespecting the club, and I've got the same perception on him. And, he recently come out and criticised the club, and he says, from his perception, Man United need to support Paul Pogba more. There was reports saying before that we need to think about building a team around Paul Pogba rather than let him go. But it's quite clear that he doesn't want to be at Manchester United. Pogba has got around 15 or is it 16 months left on his contract. We do have an option to extend his contract by a further year, and he's on around 290 grand a week at the football club, is Pogba. And of course, we paid £89 million for him. But he wasn't only now and last summer that he was subjected to a lot of transfer speculation. There was also a hell of a lot of speculation about him leaving under the Jose Mourinho era, because he enjoyed a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho, and obviously Paul Pogba got one of his best wishes when Jose Mourinho left the football club. Pogba's made 151 appearances, I think, and scored 31 goals in all competitions since he rejoined. But yeah, I think he's going to be definitely leaving the football club. But the money would generate from Pogba's departure, would be able to get around 2 or 3 players with that money. But there again, there'd be no point, because we'd be spending, basically, what would generated from his departure, and that's not sensible from Man United and that. But the good news is we've got players coming back from injury. Bay is close to returning. He played for the reserves the other day. He also played for the under-21s last week, did Eric Bay. And he's close to first team action. There was reports saying that he could play on Sunday against Liverpool. Well, could be involved. Bay's been out with a knee injury since pre-season. And he's very injury prone. Like I said, Fossil Mensu's close to returning. Rashford, he's obviously out with a back injury, Marcus Rashford. Now, I think he is a doubt for the game tomorrow against Liverpool, which is very, very disappointing. Solskjaer said in his press conference yesterday, like I updated you, he says that, he was asked, is Rashford going to be fit? And he said he couldn't tell him, and he said he was going to be further assessed yesterday. The other day was a recovery date from Marcus Rashford. He reflected back on the Harry Maguire injury, and he said, he got, the right amount of time to recover, and it only turned out that Harry Maguire's hip injury that he did have was more minor. I wanted the same thing with Rashford. I didn't want his back injury to be too severe, so it's looking likely he isn't going to be involved in the game against Liverpool. But Rashford's been one of our best players so far this season. He's been in scintillating form. Rashford's on 63 senior goals for the football club since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016. And up until this point so far, Rashford has spent the entirety of his career with Manchester United. I think he's on around 17 or 18 goals so far this season in all competitions. Rashford's made now 201 appearances for the club in all competitions. So if he could have played against Liverpool, that would have been his 202nd appearance for the club. But it's looking likely he's not going to be playing. But like again, Rashford sustained quite a few injuries as a Man United player. But I'm determined to keep Rashford. And there's players I'd keep at Man United. I'd definitely keep Marcus Rashford. I'd keep Anthony Martial. He's a long-term solution. Keep McTominay because before he got injured, he did well. Keep Lindelof. Keep the 3 signings that we recommended in. I probably would keep Juan Mata. So there's definitely still players at this team I'd keep. I'd definitely keep Williams. Keep Tuanzebe. Mason Greenwood's going to become a success at the club, and it'll be good to see, these young players, playing at Anfield for the first time at Manchester United, because I think the youngsters will get their chances. I think Greenwood will be involved, definitely, even if he doesn't start. Mason Greenwood now could come in for Marcus Rashford and start anywhere. So we'll see what happens about that, definitely. But yeah, and obviously you've already seen my preview for the Man United-Liverpool game. I did it, Friday. You saw my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference yesterday. So I'm really, really looking forward to the game. But anyway, that's your latest news regarding Ashley Young. It's official he's joining Milan. The news regarding Bruno Fernandes, nothing's official as yet, but it should be announced sometime this weekend, definitely. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.